Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Jay back at it again, and today we got 7 habits that make you ugly. No BS guide by looking fresh. You already know what the deal is. Follow me on both Jay's here and Jay's there. And without further ado,
I'm not gonna waste your time. Here's a no BS guide on the habit that makes you ugly. The first habit is having the
is this HED? I bet, yeah, we good.
belief that you're quote unquote ugly. Here's a picture from when I was 18 years old, and here is me now. When I was young, I considered myself an ugly guy. I was doing all the good habits, but I didn't stay consistent with it. I'll do it for a week or two, because I watched a motivational video, and after the motivation is gone, I'll give up and binge watch Stranger Things while eating a pack of Cheetos. I didn't know what was stopping me from looking better, but after going through tough times, I realized that I'm not ugly. No one is. Instead of saying I'm ugly, I started saying I'm not disciplined enough to do the habits that will
Yeah, definitely. Having a mental change is so important for this, because if you have how do you talk to yourself is how other people are gonna treat you. That's just true, right? That's just factual. Like if you sit down and say I'm ugly, I'm lazy, I get no money, I'm poor, I'm broke, you're gonna see more of that in your life because you're spouting it out. You're bringing that idea, that concept into the world, right? Why do you think that anybody who's a millionaire or successful says that? They think they're him. They talk to themselves like, I'm a winner, I'm a go-getter, I get money. Like, I read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And obviously, you know, the poor dad, right, would say stuff like, oh, we don't have enough money, we're broke, we're poor. The rich dad, right, who at the time, right, at the start of this book, was at the same financial level, right? He wasn't making a lot of money early on in the book, right? He was on the same level as the other dad, right? However, he said he was a money getter. He never said he was broke or poor, because he knew that if he spoke those words consistently into the universe, that the universe was going to bring that back onto him. In other words, what you think about and what you say becomes your actions, and your actions are going to lead to the reality that you desire, right? If you're constantly thinking about hate and envy, you're going to be more hateful and envious. There's a reason why when you're mad, you get more mad, right? Because you're thinking about being upset at this one thing and you're feeding into it. Like, there are some times where you can, like, if you're watching this video, there's times where you probably got mad at something so inconvenient because you kept feeding into it, right? You had one argument with a person, now you're constantly feeding into that argument in your mental frame, right? You're just making yourself more upset. So it is definitely important to have an already established mental framework that you are not ugly, because then you're going to start doing habits that aren't going to make you ugly. Like when I started saying that I was disciplined and I was a moneymaker, I started recording more videos. I started posting more on the Jay's There channel. I'm more consistent now than I've been in a long time. Not exclusively, but mainly because of the mindset shift I've done to myself.
make me attractive. If I eat junk food every day, get a bad night of sleep, and jerk off 2 times, what do you expect? Do you expect me to be a healthy and attractive human being? Of course not. I always hear the cringe term, just believe in yourself, king, but it's actually true in this case. After removing this limiting belief that I'm ugly and no one loves me, and started behaving like someone who is attractive, I started doing the good habits naturally. This isn't like the BS videos that you watched before, so make sure to watch it till the end and your life will change forever. The second habit is not having enough sun exposure.
Yeah, sun exposure is definitely important. Helps with the sun can cause skin issues, but that's why you use, sunscreen, right? Obviously, the more melanin you have in your body, the less sunscreen you'll need. But having sunscreen, make sure to take good breaks while you are outside, like getting in the shaded areas is also important. But yeah, man, going out into the sun, humans were built to be in the sun, by the way. We were built to be outside. We weren't made to be super stationary, hunched over at our computers all the time.
Just know that the sun has vitamin D in it, and vitamin D makes you more healthy, reset the clock of your body so you'll sleep better, which will make you more attractive. But you need to wear sunscreen so you'll get all the benefits from it. I started implementing the habit of walking 15K steps a day, and it changed my life. Here are the benefits that I noticed. Walking clears my mind, makes me more attractive, wakes me up, gets me away from distractions, acts as a creative block in my day, keeps me lean, keeps me healthy, making more connections with people, improve my sleep, and the list's still going. Here's an actionable step for you to do. Go for a walk for 5 minutes after this video with no phone, just you and your thoughts, and you'll thank me later. The third habit is a poor diet. A car will not start if you put water in it instead of fuel. If we apply the same concept to humans, your body will not work properly. Even worse, it will not work at all if you consume high sugar or processed foods. Not only will you feel sluggish during the day, but it also can cause acne breakouts and make you age faster. I didn't say to cut out sugary food completely from your life.
You don't have to cut out sugary foods, but limit them. Don't be eating donuts and pizza all day, every single day, because then you're going to mess up your face. Because, like, what you put in is what you get out. You put a whole bunch of junk and processed food in your body's going to feel slower. You're going to feel less mentally in charge, right? There is a reason why if you are going to, let's say you have, like, a football game, right? When you're in that locker room, they hand you, like, you know, like a little Subway sandwich, you know, maybe a cookie. Like, they hand you something like that. But I usually, unless the game is super far away, like 3+ hours away, nigga, I'ma just eat, like, you know what I'm saying, the sandwich, right? Half of the sandwich, a little bit of the cookie, because I don't want to be super, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have all that food processing in my body, which will cause me to play worse, right? There's a reason why when you have a game, you shouldn't eat a whole bunch of canes and, you know, Diet Coke and all that stuff, because it's not good for you, right? It's going to make you play more sluggish.
I try to be mindful while doing it and raise my hand and say, yes, I'm going to cheat on my diet today, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. I try to cheat on my diet for 5 to 10 times a year. That's it. When I go on a family trip like I did last week with my friends, I eat something sugary or processed food when it's part of the experience. Don't waste that opportunity. But here's the thing that you should never, ever do. Don't eat high sugar or processed foods alone or when you're bored in your house after school. Here's what I used to do after returning from school. I'll sit in my bed that has stains of cum on it from yesterday, and I start watching KSI and eat shit food until I'll pass out and go to bed, and I wonder why I wake up groggy with no
energy. But yeah, it is important to watch what you eat, right? I definitely say you should be drinking at least a gallon of water a day. You should be going on walks like you already mentioned, and you should be eating fruit, right? I'd recommend, you know what I'm saying, bananas, blueberries, strawberries, oatmeal, steak, chicken, mostly grilled chicken, right? Broccoli, you know, that's what I usually try to eat. You know, rice as well. That's that good food, right? Side note, if it's a whole food, right? It's a whole food, right? If you don't know what that means, right? It's basically the moment you get it from nature, it's basically just in that form, right? You, like, the chicken, the base of the chicken doesn't inherently change from when it's from nature, right? Now, man, you know what I'm saying? Now they might spray it with chemicals and all that shit, but it's still a chicken breast, right? Versus, you know, McDonald's, where they're most likely making that shiz in a lab, you feel me?
Energy. This should terrify the F out of you, bro. I can't imagine myself doing that again in my life. The fourth habit is not being polite and respectful. Start by saying please and thank you more to people.
Yeah, being disrespectful is unattractive. The only people that are going to be attracted to disrespectful, you know, tendencies are people that you probably don't want to be hanging near to begin with, right? Like, my mama raised me, yes sir, no sir, you know, treat others with respect, things of that nature, right?
Smile at them and compliment their new shoes that they got. Avoid checking your phone mid-conversations. I used to always check my phone when my mother was talking to me. She is the woman that gave birth to me. She's the woman that loves me before I was even freaking born. And here, I'm worrying about a girl not texting me back. That's so sad, bro. And what helped me to stop checking my phone so much is turning my screen black and white and daily meditation. It kept me—
Yeah, my screen, I have a screen time limit on my phone for like 5 minutes for Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. And I have the black and white filter, because I want to limit excessive use on my phone, bro. Because the less I'm on my phone, the more present I am in the moment. And I struggle with this sometimes, I'm not gonna hold you, because it's so easy. Like, it is so easy to have one video, like one little 10-minute video turn into 3+ hours, and now your sleep's messed up, you know, you're not focused anymore. You know, it's hard to get work done after a TikTok binge, right? So I do my best to stay mindful of how much I'm on my phone, how much I'm using it, right? That's why I enabled the screen time to begin with, and that's why I try to bring a book with me where I go. So that way I'm reading. You know, I'm thinking about new ideas for my channels, and I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, think more than just, you know what I'm saying, scroll.
me present when talking to people. So I try meditating for at least 5 minutes every day for the rest of my life. When someone is talking to me and I get a phone call, I'll hang up the phone and say, sorry for that, you can continue. And I can see their eyes became filled with happiness and joy because I treat others how I want to be treated. Here is an actionable step to do. Go hug your mother and say that you love her so much. I know it's uncomfortable, but trust me, it's gonna make her week, not even day. The fifth habit is not having a self-care routine. If you don't have the self-care routine, you should start doing it ASAP.
Honestly, for self-care routine, you could probably ask ChatGPT to cook you one up. You know what I'm saying? ChatGPT, just ask GPT, yo, what's a skincare routine I could implement to clear up, blackheads and acne and oily skin? You can ask ChatGPT, yo, I'm skinny fat. How can I build an athletic V-taper? Like ChatGPT, with AI, it depends on how you use it. If you use it to create nonsense, well, that's just what you're going to get out of it. But if you use it to learn and you use it to create plans, it can be very helpful, right? So if I was new to this, I would watch videos like, you can watch some videos like this, but I'd recommend you actually sit down, and once you watch some videos, do your own research, you can just ask ChatGPT to cook you up a routine, see how that works in your life, put in what works, discard what doesn't, and add your own thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bruce Lee and all that.
To tell you what to do because you already know what to do. But if you're new to this space, I made so many self-care videos on my channel. I talked in details on how to develop a self-care routine. You can go watch them after this video. The sixth habit, not sleeping 8 hours a night. I think you should ignore what I said for the whole video and start sleeping 8 hours a night and you'll become more attractive naturally. I got a question on my Discord on how to remove dark circles, and I think I'm the perfect guy to help because here's me when I was 18 years old, and here's me now with no dark circles. I just sleep 8 hours a day and not using so much screen time because it will make my eyes tired. But Aziz, how can I get good sleep, bro? Here is no BS way to have good sleep. First, go to bed and wake up at the same time no matter what time you slept. Second, make your room cold and dark. Third, don't use your phone 1 hour before bed. Fourth, read a book until it falls out of your hand, and voila, you'll sleep like a baby. The seventh habit is having high stress. Everything bad that happens to you is caused by stress. That's why most people indulge in bad habits and get in relationships that they don't need. The number one thing that causes breakouts is high stress. So here's a breathing exercise that you can do to reduce stress now. You need to breathe in as deep as you can, but don't breathe out now. Have another breath at the top, then breathe out. Here's a demonstration of it.
Yeah, I need to get back on my breathing exercises because they definitely help with stress. But hey, man, that was a good video, man. Shout out Looking Fresh. But that being said, it's your boy Jay. Stay healthy, wealthy, and stay blessed.